syempre may demerit po yun. At least naman 0. So, still, I encourage you to submit your assignment. Si Reyes, si Rada, Reveresa, San Gabriel, and Susan. Okay? So, good afternoon, everyone. So, let me share my presentation. Methods of research introduction to research. So everyone is encouraged to participate kapag may chance na mag-recite po tayo. So since I am using only one unit and therefore I cannot use the slideshow view. Okay, and besides naglalag yung yung internet connection medyo mahina, so nadidelay yung transition. Okay, so I'll be using a normal view for this presentation. So again, good afternoon. So here are the topic outline for our lesson. So we have introduction and basic concepts in research. So subtopics are the meaning of research, characteristics of research, qualities of a good researcher, purposes of research, types of educational research, the hypothesis, sampling, population, and sample, and overview of the research process and hindrances encountered in research. Okay, so I hope na kaya natin to send within the. So, learning outcomes for this lesson are the following, So, we have 1, define research, name the characteristics of research, identify the qualities of a good researcher, name the values of research, enumerate the types of educational research, define hypothesis, sampling, population, and sample, discuss the overview of the research process, and identify hindrances encountered in research. So, to start, what is research for you? Must be understand research. Anybody? Walang mag-volunteer o magtatawag po ako? Assignment niyo yan, di ba?
Hello, ma'am.
Okay, if you want to recite, register your name now using our chat box. Nandiyan na ba si Alabanzas? Alabanzas, Apuyan, Bustamante, Tarong, Rada, San Gabriel, Soriano, wala po. Okay, si Raka. Raka.
Present, ma'am.
Yes, what is research for you? And why must we understand research?
Research is defined as the creation of new knowledge and or the use of existing knowledge in a new and creative way so as to generate new concepts, methodologies, and understanding. And we must we understand this research because kailangan po natin to na mas matutunan po lalo na tayo po mas kailangan po natin pag-aralan po yung research regarding sa mga topics na dapat po nating talakayin po.
Okay, very good. Si Arthur, Susan.
Yes po, ma'am. Good morning po, ma'am. Para po sa akin, ang research po is a process po or pag-collect po ng data or information po para makapag-solve po ng particular problem gamit po yung mga scientific method or scientific ways. At importante po na ma-understand natin yung research dahil ito po yung mag-i-improve po ng ating buhay at yung pa yung dapat ma-discover natin sa mundo na ito.
Okay. Who else? Dalawa lang po ba ang gumawa ng assignment? Sige, mauna.
Ang research po is isa po sa isa sa malaking bagay na ginagamit sa kahit anong way po. Katulad po ng malaking example po yung ginawa po sa vaccination po ng COVID. Di naman po yun magagawa without research. Marami din pong pwedeng pag-apply ng research, mapa-school po yan or trabaho or anything po na pwede po aralin.
Okay, therefore, to define research, it is what? Mauna. How do you define research? How do you define research? So what you explained is how research is important, no? Bakit kailangan magkaroon ng research? And naibigay mo example is yung napapanahon ngayon, yung vaccine. Okay, so yun yung ibig mong sabihin, mauna na. But then, how do you define research? Wala ka ba assignment, mauna? Rayoner.
Meron po.
Rayoner.
Yung research po is a process of collecting data and analysis of information is in a systemic way po.
Who else? Nabasca.
Okay, ma'am. For me, it is something to investigate an item or subject as well as to grow or create knowledge regardless whether it is based on scientific, humanitarian, social, technical concerns using a set of procedures that are implemented in methodological manner.
Okay, so why must we understand research?
Because it is something it helps us in the future, ma'am.
Okay, Cornejo.
Research for me po is the compilation of different information gathered from different kinds of sources po. For example, it can be through reading books or browsing the internet po.
Okay, so to define research, research is from an old French word, no? Means searchier. And this means to seek or to search. Another, an attempt to solve or gain a solution to a problem. Next, it is a process to discover new knowledge. It is a process of collecting or gathering data and information by a scientific or logical procedure that aims to solve a particular scientific problem. And according to Kerlinger, a systematic, controlled, empirical, and critical investigation of hypothetical propositions about the presumed relations among natural phenomena. It is an honest scientific investigation undertaken for the purpose of discovering new facts or establishing new relationships among facts already known, which will contribute to the present body of knowledge and can lead to an effective solution of existing problems. And another, no, a scientific investigation of phenomena, which includes collection, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of facts that lines an individual's speculation with reality. So we heard the words na scientific research or scientific investigation. So what is the role of science in research? Ano ba yung role ng science in research? So to answer that, let us first define what is science. So science in research is a systematic and logical approach to discovering how things in the universe work. And it is also the body of knowledge accumulated through the discoveries about all the things in the universe. So for scientists, when conducting research, no, they use the scientific method. No, gumagamit sila ng scientific method to collect measurable empirical evidence in an experiment related to a hypothesis that is designed to support or contradict a scientific theory. Okay, so in general, science generates solutions for everyday life and helps us, no, to answer the great mysteries of the universe. Okay, so in other words, science is one of the most important channels of knowledge. Science, technology, and innovation must drive our pursuit of more equitable and sustainable development. So, what is scientific research methods? Ano naman itong mga scientific research methods? Okay, so pag sinabi naman natin scientific research method, it is consists of observing the world, no, around you and creating a hypothesis about relationships in the world. So the scientific method, na, it is a standardized way of making observations. Ano pa? Gathering data, forming theories, testing prediction, and interpreting results. So again, ano yung scientific method na ano yung mga scientific method? A standardized way of making observations, gathering data, forming theories, testing prediction, and interpreting results. Scientists or researchers use these procedures to solve problems in logical way. They generally develop a theory or idea only after they have collected a lot of evidence and made sure others can reproduce their research results. Okay? Now, what is research in engineering? Anybody? Anybody po? Open niyo lang po yung mga camera ninyo, ha? Cornejo. Ano ba yung research sa engineering? What is research in engineering? Cornejo, yung camera mo. Diyan ka ba? Wala na si Cornejo, natulog na yata. Cornejo. Si Justin Cornejo. Wala na si Cornejo. Cornejo, nandyan ka ba? Wala sa pwesto? Ah, okay, so to continue, what is engineering? Rather, what is research in engineering? Computer engineering po ba kayo? Anong course niyo? Anong program niyo?
Computer engineering po.
Computer engineering. Related itong question na to sa inyo. So, when we say research in engineering, basic research na in engineering is by definition, it is concerned with the discovery and systematic conceptual structuring of knowledge. Engineers develop, design, produce, or construct and operate devices, structures, machines, and systems of economic and societal value. So, yung tinatawag nating mga design process, engineering design process is typically approach, no? Ito yung tinatawag nating design process, no? From the definition of the problem or define the problem, no? Conduct research, brainstorm, and conceptualize, and create a prototype. So in engineering research and development, also known as R&D, or rather engineering research and development, also known as R&D, is the systematic process of learning about and building new technologies to design a product. So here I have here class two examples of engineering research. So one is design, construction, and testing. Design, construction, testing of a hybrid solar room heating system now by Haq, Hassan, and Rahman in 2008. So this hybrid solar system actually it provides building with all energy they need for heating hot tap water, cooling, and electricity in the most cost efficient and environmentally friendly way. So just to give an kung ano ba yung mga possible na engineering research. So another one is performance of leader election algorithms in mobile sensor networks by Mamun, Raman, and Matalik. Okay, so again, yung sinasabi natin na design process na in engineering, ito yung mga steps, no, or procedures. So first, define the problem, conduct research, brainstorm and conceptualize, create a prototype, build and market your product, no, product analysis, and improve. Okay? So why is research important in engineering? Kanina parang may narinig na akong sagot, no? Pero i-refer lang natin sa engineering. Okay, so I want to hear from Cornejo, Justin Cornejo. Wala si Justin. Sige, any volunteer? Any volunteer? Walo.
Why is research in engineering is important? When tasked with finding a solution to a problem, research helps identify, evaluate, and collate all the engineering information you may find. Developing a competitive edge, research is a crucial component of innovation and key to developing a company's competitive edge. Ano po?
Another. Why is research important in engineering? Volunteer po para meron kayong recitation, may grade kayo sa oral response. Dito pa lang yung nakakapag-research, yung may recitation sa akin. Yander.
Why is research important in engineering? 6 improvements in theory and practice in fields such as high-speed computation, bioengineering, and earthquake prediction.
So, ano yung importance ng research sa engineering? Again, what is the importance of research in engineering? Or bakit mahalaga yung yung research sa engineering? Yander. Bakit mahalaga ikaw as a computer engineering student? Later on, magkakaroon kayo ng thesis, magkakanda kayo ng research. Sa palagay mo, bakit mahalaga yung research sa engineering? Susan.
Um,
Susan.
Yes po, ma'am.
Kevin Arthur.
Yes po, ma'am. Research important in engineering because research will be able to help us engineers, or it will be a guideline for us to furthermore develop our production, or making our production faster and efficient and constructing ideas na mas maayos po.
Okay, very good. Masangkay.
Ano po? Research is important in engineering because ang engineering po kasi is malawak, and dito po kailangan natin ng room for para matuto pa po ng marami, and isa po yung research ang makakatulong sa atin para lumawak pa po yung knowledge natin about sa isang bagay, especially sa engineering po. Kaya sabi ko nga po kanina, kasi malawak po yung engineering and kailangan po natin ng research dito. That's it.
Okay, so Masangkay. Ay, si Masangkay na pala yun. Austria.
Research is important in engineering because engineering primary job is to provide comfort to the society. Since comfort varies from time to time, it's very important for the engineering to conduct research to find out the optimum comfort.
Okay, very good. Valencia.
Bakit importante ang research sa engineering? Simple lang po. Kasi ito yung pinaka-bread and butter ng isang engineering. Kung walang research, wala tayong magagawa. Bakit kailangan ng research? Para masukat kung epektibo ba, kung halimbawa, kung tama ba yung ginagawa natin. So, kailangan natin ng research para mapatunayan natin kung effective at magiging useful ba ito sa isang society. Yun lang.
Okay, very good. Last na muna si Pasilaw.
Importante po yung research sa engineering kasi po for future project po. Example po sa mga civil engineering, hindi po sila gagawa ng project or structure nang wala po silang plan, at hindi po sila gagawa yun nang wala pong knowledge doon. So, need po nila yung research to gather those information po.
Okay. Pasilaw, pwede pababaon ng konti yung camera mo kasi parang buhok na lang yung nakikita sa'yo.
Hindi ko po kasi makita sa cellphone lang po yun. Malayo po yun.
Ayan, sige. Okay, so actually, hindi lang masyado na-justify ng iba, but then somehow I understand, no? And all your answers are correct, no? So, why is research important in engineering? It is important because research expands the solution space you explore in design. No? A researcher or designers generates multiple creative and diverse ideas. And the boundaries of your own knowledge, no? And expands them. Diba? Sabi nga natin, research is a process to discover new knowledge, no, as defined. Then, it also finds better, easier, cheaper, safer ways to accomplish the project goals. Research also distinguishes the novice from experts designer. No, nadidistinguish dito yung a beginner, no, a beginner researcher from an experienced, not as engineer, okay, or rather an engineer as a researcher, no, a beginner engineer as a researcher, no, from an experienced designer or developer. So nadidistinguish natin through research, time, effort, and cost of a project. Okay, and lastly, it research, no? What do you think as, no, bakit natin nabanggit dito na research is important, no, in engineering because it also avoids arrogance. Borromeo. So anong paraan ba para masabi natin na through research, no, na iiwasan natin yung pagiging arrogante?
Sa ano po? Yes po, Ma'am Romeo. Sa through research po naiiwasan po natin yung being ignorant po, because nagpo-prove po kasi tayo ng facts sa mga binibigay nating na mga solution, kasi hindi po tayo nagbe-base lang sa gut feel natin. So sa true research po naiiwasan natin yung pagiging ignorant, kasi we can provide facts po sa mga binibigay natin na idea.
Okay. Susan. Very good, Baromeo. Susan.
Yes, ma'am. Kagaya po kanina na define ng research is to seek and gather data. So, alam natin sa mundo na to, we have a lot of knowledge and information na makakuha. Gamit po yung research, ito yung parang magtuturo sa atin or magpapa-improve sa atin na maging open-minded tayo sa bawat idea. Hindi tayo magsistick sa isang idea dahil nga baka yung idea na yun is makakatulong sa matapos yung project mo na yun. So yung research is mag-avoid ng arrogance dahil nagiging open-minded na tayo sa mga new ideas na natatanggap natin.
Okay, so very good now, Susan. Okay, so research can start when we want to know something, no? Or if we are curious about something, and its concern is to increase our understanding. And the study or the research provide us with the information and knowledge needed to solve and make decisions. So why must we understand research? We need to understand research, no? The different types of research and how research is being conducted, and what methodology should you follow or use according to types of research and according to your field of specialization to discover new knowledge and or to solve or gain a solution to a problem. Okay, so what is the purpose of research? What is the purpose of research?
To gain new
Everybody?
knowledge po.
Register po tayo sa chat box, yung gustong mag-recite. Masangkay ulit, sige.
To gain new knowledge po, ma'am.
Si Susan ba yung kanina? Yung huli? Si
Yes,
Susan
ma'am.
ba yung huli kanina?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sige. Masangkay. Masangkay.
To gain new knowledge po, ma'am.
So what is the purpose of research, Masangkay?
Ma'am, to gain new knowledge po, ma'am.
To gain new knowledge?
Kaya po nagre-research para makakuha ng iba't ibang infos po about sa isang bagay.
Who else? Yun na yun. Okay. Si Alano.
Yun po, ma'am. Research is basically just a continuous process of correcting and improving hypotheses. The goal of accepting definite scientific truths po. It can answer like problems po yung research.
Yung, again, ano po yung purpose ng research? Alano?
Ano ma'am?
Purpose.
Correcting and improving
Okay.
hypothesis po.
Sige. Correcting and improving hypothesis. So, next is, sino yun? Alano, no? Sige, Palomeras.
Based po dun sa assignment ko, ma'am, the main purpose of the research is to supply information and data based on the study you created. The goal of the research is to advance knowledge through scientific theories, concepts, and ideas in order to benefit society po. Yun lang po. Thank you
Okay,
po.
Pasilya.
Sa akin naman po, the primary purpose of research is to expand the existing body of the knowledge by providing solution to the different problem in pedagogy while improving teaching and learning practices.
Okay, Fortaleza.
Kami po, the purpose of the research is to innovate, know and understand certain topic for the modernization of our society. Meaning po,
Okay.
through research po, we can gain and know certain topic for the for the benefit of our society and our own self po.
Okay. Alarcon.
The purpose of research is to further understand the world and to learn how this knowledge can be
Wala
applied.
ka ng camera, ne?
Ayan po.
Open lang natin yung camera.
The purpose of research is to further understand the world and learn how this knowledge can be applied to better life. And para rin po malaman po natin yung mga unknown and ma-develop po natin yung mga research po na nagawa mo.
Okay. So, Ablaza. And last, si Ligarde, ha?
Based po dun sa assignment ko, may tatlong main reason po yung research, which is exploration, description, saka explanation. Sa exploration po, ito po yung nag-discover, ang goal po natin is mag-gain ng new knowledge. Tapos sa description po, since usually phenomena yung nangyayari, dinidescribe natin kung ano yung itsura niya, kung ano yung mga circumstances around the phenomenon. Tapos yung pangatlo is explanation, paano po nangyari yung phenomena, ano po yung reason ba't siya nag-occur po. Yun po.
Okay. So, last na si Ligarde.
Based po sa research ko, the purpose of research is to improve society by increasing knowledge through the development of scientific theories, concepts, and ideas.
Okay, so very good. Now, all your answers are correct. Okay, so again, the purpose of research class is to correct perceptions. Okay, so tama naman, no? Narinig ko to kanina. Although ibang term, pero just to correct perception, to develop and evaluate concept, practices, and theories, gathers information on a certain phenomenon that are lacking in knowledge. Another is to obtain knowledge for practical purposes. And research also provides hard facts that serves as a basis for planning, decision-making, project implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. And also, to find answers to questions or solutions to problems, discovering and interpreting new facts, testing theories to revise accepted theories or lost in the light of new facts, and formulating new theories. Okay, so sabi natin na one of the purpose of research is to find answers to questions or solutions to problems. So, and this is actually one of the purpose, no? Sabi nga natin, one of the purposes of research. So, to find solution to problem or simply problem solving. Okay, so research for problem solving can be broken down into a number of separate components. each of which requires information and analysis, so such as identification of problems, diagnosis of causes, identification of potential solutions, decision for action, and monitoring and evaluation of action and outcomes. Okay, now let's proceed to the next topic, no? Characteristics of research. So ano naman class yung mga characteristics of research? Is this included in our assignment?
Yes po, ma'am.
O sige. So sino naman po? Gumiran? Characteristics of the person. Open po tayo ng camera.
Ma'am, nalobat po yung cellphone. Hindi ko po
Sino?
nasa PC po kasi nalobat po yung
Nako.
cellphone ko kanina.
So kung anong gagawin? Hanggang 3:30 pa naman tayo, iho. Sino ba yung tinawag ko kanina? Gumiran.
Gumiran po, ma'am.
Wala kang camera, ne?
Characteristics of research.
Wala kang camera.
Meron po.
O requirement po natin camera. Open your camera.
Meron po, ma'am. Meron po, ma'am.
Naka-open? Baka mahina yung dating dito. Wala, nakasara kasi. Sige. Sige, ne. Characteristics.
Characteristics. Based on my research po, the first characteristic of research is stated. First, research must be empirical. Meaning po, theories are those that are founded on observing experiments. Ibig sabihin po, kapag empirical po yung isang research, dapat po hindi na po siya accurate. Dapat po based siya sa facts and founded effective observations and proved experiments.
Okay? Sino pa? Wala. Sino pa? Pasilya ulit? Pasilyaw?
Yes, ma'am. Sa akin naman po yung one of characteristic of research must be analytical.
Okay.
There is a critical analysis of the data used to that there is no error and there's no interpretation. Analytical po kasi yung research dapat kasi yung mga data pong nagagather dapat meron po siyang pinag-basean and yung mga sources po ng mga data katulad po sa nakukuha sa mga survey dapat po siya ay concrete po and must be truth and facts lang po. Yan po.
Okay. What else? Sino pa? Si Masangkay ulit?
Yes po, ma'am. One of the characteristics of research po is control po, which is this states that all variables except those that are tested, experiment upon, are kept constant po.
Lumaka. Ay, sorry po.
Okay na po.
Hindi, sige. Again, I'm sorry.
And systematic po. This follows an orderly and sequential procedure po.
Okay. Lumaka.
Isa pong characteristics po ng research is yung systematic po. Kasi may sinusunod pong sequential ng procedure po ng isang research.
Okay, very good. Rile, then Abatay.
Isa pong characteristic ng research, ma'am, is accurate po. Importante po yung accuracy kasi po, pag wala accuracy, the research paper cannot be valid po and generalizable po.
Okay. Last na muna si Abatay.
Research must be unbiased po kasi if biased po yung research, ma-affect niya po yung data.
Yun po.
Sige, si Alano, Gatbonton, and Zelda. Last na muna kay Zelda, ha?
A
Alano,
research
Gatbonton,
should
and
be
Zelda.
credible po. It implies that the material gathered by the researcher is correct and verifiable by oneself. If the information we obtain is inaccurate and reliable, our research will be unethical po.
Okay. Gatbonton and Zelda. Last na si Zelda.
Yung sa akin po, one of the characteristic of research po is validity. Ito po yung it is a friend with which we can make research conclusion, assumption, or proposition true or false po. It determines the applicability of the research.
Okay, ang ganda ng upuan mo, Zelda. Nag-camera ka pero upuan mo lang ang nakikita, anak. Okay, gamitin po natin ng maayos yung kama para nare-recognize natin. Yun po yung purpose natin na para ma-recognize natin kayo. Para ma-recognize kayo. Okay? So, characteristics of research. We have class, no? Empirical. Okay? So, tama naman, no? Nabanggit. So, empirical research is based on direct experience or observation by the researcher. So, it is an empirical research is again based on observed and measured phenomena and derives knowledge from actual experience rather than from theory or belief. Okay? So, empirical. Okay, so when we say another characteristics is logical. No, research is logical. It is logical since it is based on valid procedures and principles. So logical research is digging into a topic in a valid way or a way that makes sense. So how can we make a research be make a research be considered logical? If you getting rid of anything that cannot be validated and continuing with the things that can be validated. Okay, so again, logical if it is based on valid procedures and principles. So another characteristics, it is cyclical. So, ano ba ibig sabihin ng cyclical? It is a cyclical process because it starts with a problem and ends with a problem, no? It is a continuous process. Sinasabi nga natin cyclical. Okay? Continuous process of checking and rechecking, evaluating and analyzing, and repeating the entire process over and over again. Kaya tinawag natin siyang cyclical because it is a continuous cycle. Research is also analytical. It utilizes proven analytical procedures in gathering the data, whether historical, descriptive, experimental, and case study. So, pag sinabi natin analytical, it attempts to establish why it is that way or how it came to be. It involves critical thinking skills, and the evaluation of facts and information relative to the research being conducted. Okay, so kaya natin tinawag na it is analytical. Uses proven analytical procedures in gathering the data. Na? Okay, so another. So research is empirical, logical, cyclical, analytical, and it is also critical. Bakit natin nasabing critical? It exhibits careful and precise judgment. No? So, dapat yung judgment mo is accurate. No? Precise, accurate. Hindi tayo pwedeng mag-manipulate ng results. No? Whether ang result is hindi maganda, no? But still, kailangan kung ano yung result, yun ang ipakita, no? Whether hindi yung expected outcome mo, ito yung expected outcome mo, pero hindi yun ang lumabas na result, no, dun sa research mo, then it should be dapat yung precise judgment. Okay? So dapat kung ano yung lumabas, yun din ang ipapakita. Okay? So another, it is methodical. Methodical research is conducted in a methodical manner without bias using systematic method and procedures. So ano ba yung methodical procedure? The way in which researchers arrange, develop, and or modify any technique, theory, or previous results in a methodological approach. Or alternatively, develop a new technique. Okay? So, another is replicability. So, another characteristics class, itong tinatawag na replicability. So, the researcher design and procedures are replicated or repeated to enable the researcher to arrive at valid and conclusive results. So, pag sinabi nating replicability, this refers to whether the results from your test or experiment can be replicated if repeated exactly the same way. Then it suggests your results are not due to chance. So if your results can be replicated by different researchers in different experiments, then your results are called robust. Okay, so again, characteristics of research, we have empirical, logical, cyclical, analytical, critical, methodical, and replicability. Okay, so let's now proceed to types of research. Okay, what are the different types of research? Kanina tayo nag-stop kay Zelda. So anybody, types of research. Kasama po ba ito sa assignment? Types of research. Diyan pa ba kayo? Open natin yung mga camera. Got Bonton. Okay, anybody, what are the different types of research? Kasama po ba ito sa assignment? Kasama sa assignment?
Types of educational
Yes po, educational research po.
Types of educational research. O sige, to be exact. What are the different types of educational research? So, ilan po ba yung educational research natin? Sige, si Pasilyaw. Pasilyaw ulit. Pasilyaw. Asan
Yes,
si
ma'am.
Pasilyaw? Sige.
Hello po.
Yes. Pasilyaw, then Pelias.
One type of educational research po is descriptive. In this type of educational research, the researcher merely seeks to collect data with regards to the status of goods or present the situational things. The core of descriptive research lies in defining the state and characteristic of research, subject being understudy. Sa descriptive international research po, in the word descriptive po, ibig sabihin po siya ay madali mo lang po siya kaagad malalaman kasi po naka-describe na po din yung nandun na po yung collected data na po sa presentation po.
Again, what is descriptive research?
The research, descriptive educational research po, research po siya na naglalay sa defining state and characteristic of the research of the subject being understood. Ayun po.
Elias. Elias?
Yes po, ma'am.
Elias, nag-register ka ng pangalan mo. So, kasi
Yes
gusto
po.
mo mag-recite.
Another type po of educational research is correlational educational research po. This is a type of educational research that seeks insights into the statistical relationship between two research variables. In correlational research, the researcher studies two variables intending to establish a connection between them. In this type of research, we have two variables that titingnan po natin yung relationship nila, kung paano nila naapektuhan ng isa't isa po, ma'am.
Okay, Elias, what type of research are you
Correlational
describing?
educational research.
Correlational research. So, kanina may descriptive tayo. Sa pangalawa is correlational research. Okay. Sige. Okay na, Elias?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, next. Si Gumiran. And then Ligarde, ha? Gumiran.
Yung last po is the experimental educational research. As defined, experimental educational research is a research approach
Nakakalimutan
that
mo
seeks
magbukas
to
ng
establish
camera, especially pag magre-recite, no? Napaka-importante
Naka-off
po. Dapat
yung
open
cam.
Naka-open yan.
Naka-off
Sa akin lang
po yung cam. Yes po.
Sa akin lang ba siya hindi naka-open? Sa screen ko lang ba? Sa inyo ba naka-open siya?
Yes.
Sige. Sige. Gumiran. Siguro mahina yung signal. Mahina yung dating.
Ulitin ko po. Experimental educational research as defined, it is the research approach that seeks to establish the causal relationship between two variables in the research environment. It adopts quantitative research methods in order to determine the cause and effect in terms of the research variables being studied.
Okay, so last na si Ligarde.
Ito po yung types of research na nag-i-involve. It uses one or more independent variables, manipulating them, and then using them on one or more dependent variables. Yun lang po.
Sige na. Okay na. Ligarde. Last
Yung sa akin po, quantitative research. Quantitative educational research is a research method that emphasizes statistical measurement and numerical analysis of collected data through surveys, polls, and questionnaires by manipulating pre-existing statistical information based on computational techniques.
Let's see kung tama yung sagot ni Ligarde, no? Sige. Okay, thank you. Okay, so what are the different types of research? So research, actually, research is sometimes divided, into yung tinatawag nating basic, or pure and applied research to distinguish between research that is carried out to further our knowledge and that which seeks to apply pre-existing knowledge to real-world problems. Okay, so again, pag sinabi nating basic research, no, it is also called as fundamental research or pure research. And this type of research seeks to discover basic truths or principles. So an example of basic research are the following, no? Boyle's law, Charles' law, Archimedes' principle, Hooke's law, and Newton's law. Okay, so yung mga example natin ng basic research. And yung pangalawa, yung applied research natin, it is a type of research that involves seeking new application of scientific knowledge to the solution of a problem, such as a development of a new system or procedure, new device, or new method in order to solve the problem. So, ito naman yung tinatawag nating applied research. So, ano-ano yung mga ano-ano mga different types of research. So, pag meron tayong tinatawag na developmental research na kung saan it defined as the systematic study of designing, developing, and evaluating instructional programs, processes, and procedures that must meet internal consistency and effectiveness criteria. Okay, so dito, tinatawag natin siyang decision-oriented research, involving the application of the steps of the scientific method in response to an immediate need to improve existing practices. Okay, yung scientific method natin, sabi natin, it consists of observing the world around you and creating a hypothesis about relationship in the world. So later on, magkakandak po kayo ng thesis nyo, no? So this, I guess ito yung applicable type of research na pwede ninyong gamitin, no? Developmental research. Then, next we have another type of research class, yung tinatawag nating operational research. Now, this aims to discuss and study recurring problem in an organization which may involve a study of concretization of the organization's mission, vision, philosophy, and goals. So, operational research, a scientific approach to the solution of a problem in the management of complex. So, sino-sino ba yung gumagamit ng operational research? So, this is used by organizations of all sizes, including businesses across all industry sectors, government and other public sector bodies, charities, communities, and even individuals. So, this type of research class helps inform strategic, tactical, and operational decisions, as well as assisting in the decision of public policy. Okay, depending upon the problem, the benefits of operational research can be a wide range of performance improvements, including cost reduction, revenue enhancement, saving lives, raising levels of customer service, or risk. Okay, so definitely this is not the type of research na pwede sa inyo. Okay? So dun kayo sa developmental research later on. Okay? So another class we have action research. So what is action research? Okay, so to define, this undertaken to address a recurring problem in an organization immediately. So usually a part of a major problem is addressed in this type of research. So sa education class, action research is a method of systematic inquiry that teachers undertake as researchers of their own practice. And the purpose of action research is to learn through action that then leads on to personal or professional development. Okay, so in schools, action research refers to a wide variety of evaluative, investigative, and analytical research methods designed to diagnose problems or weaknesses, whether organizational, academic, or instructional. And this help teachers or educators develop practical solutions to address them quickly and efficiently. So this research or action research may also be applied to programs or educational techniques that are not necessarily experiencing any problems, but that educators simply want to learn more about and improve. So ano ba yung general goal ng action research, no? To create a simple, practical, repeatable process of iterative learning, evaluation, and improvement that leads to increasingly better results for school, teachers, or programs. Okay, so another type. Ito naman po yung according to time element. No? Meron tayong historical research, which means what was. Descriptive research refers to what is, and experimental research describes as what will when certain variables are carefully controlled and manipulated. So kanina nabanggit nyo yung descriptive research, experimental research, and the other one is correlational as a type of educational research. Yes, that is correct. But according to time element, it is descriptive and experimental. Categorize din natin siya according to time element. Okay? So, which includes historical research. So, pag sinabi natin, ayan, as mentioned, okay? Okay. So, first natin is yung parang nawala yung aking historical research, no? Pero anyways, pag sinabi natin historical research class, enables you to explore and explain the meanings, phases, and characteristics of phenomenon or process at a particular point of time in the past. So the variable focus of this type of research is time, no? And the primary sources. Sige, para hindi kayo mawala, balik ako dun sa historical. So, yung mga primary sources, no, para dun sa historical research class, no. So, ito yung mga documents or other items that provide first-hand eyewitness accounts of events, no. Halimbawa, if you are studying the civil rights movement, a newspaper article published the day after the kung ano mang let's say 1965 Selma to Montgomery March, no, basta kung ano man yung sa civil rights movement na yan, then ayun, so yung newspaper article published, no, can be the primary source or one of the primary sources. So historians use primary sources as the raw evidence to analyze and interpret the past. So that is historical. Okay, so educational research, we have descriptive, correlational, and experimental. So as defined, sabi natin, when we say descriptive research, it is a type of educational research. The researcher merely seeks to collect data regarding the status quo or present situation of things. The core of the descriptive study is defining the state and characteristics of the understudied research subject. Okay? So, sabi natin, descriptive research, a type of research merely or wherein the researchers seek to collect data. Okay, so dito, descriptive research, dito gumagamit class, no, use descriptive research if you want to describe the characteristics of a population. Okay? Kung saan, dito, you will collect data that are used to answer a wide range of what, when, and how questions pertaining to a particular population or group. No, example, descriptive studies might be used to answer questions katulad ng what percentage of Head Start teachers have a bachelor's degree or higher? Okay, so yung mga ganong question, no? Ano pa? What is the average reading ability of 5-year-olds when they first enter kindergarten? Okay. Another, no, how do the types of services children receive from their early childhood program change as children age? Or another, what factors do programs consider when making decision about the type of assessments that will be used to assess the skills of the children in their program? So, yung mga ganong klaseng class, no? Questions, right? So, ganun yung mga class, example natin sa descriptive studies. Okay, yung mga ganung klaseng questions. Then, that needs to be answered. Okay, then, another type is yung correlational research. By the way, dun sa descriptive natin, ano ba yung ginagamit natin na method, no, to collect the data? So there are so many different data collection methods class na that can be used alone, no? Kung yun, yung mga collection methods natin can be used alone or in combination, no, to answer the types of question, no, katulad ng mga binanggit ko kanina, no, guiding descriptive research. So some of the more common methods na include surveys. Na yung mga surveys. Okay, ano pa yung method na pwede natin gamitin? Interviews. Okay? Observations. Case studies and portfolios. No? So yun yung mga data collection method na pwede natin gamitin. So the data collected through those methods can be either quantitative or qualitative. Okay? So pag later on, di-define natin ano ba yung quantitative and qualitative. So going back na yung correlational natin, to define, it is a type of research or a type of non-experimental research which purpose is to find out the relationship between two or more variables and their cause and effect. Dito po, in this type of research, no, the researcher measures two variables as mentioned, no? May nakapag-recite naman ito kanina. So, dalawa yung mini-measure dito, no? Two variables and assesses the statistical relationship, no, yung correlation between them, no, with little or no effort to control extraneous variables. So example natin, a researcher might be interested in knowing if users' privacy settings in a social networking application are related to their personality, IQ level of education, employment status, age, gender, income, and so on. So data are collected on each item, no, dun sa privacy setting, personality, etc. And then relationships are examined. Okay, example, it might be apparent in the data that users with certain personality traits tend to use more stringent privacy settings than users with other personality traits. Okay? So again, pag sinabi natin correlational research, it is a type of non-experimental research which purpose is to find out the relationship between two or more variables and their cause and effect. So, yung third type of educational research natin is experimental research. Okay, so pag sinabi naman natin experimental research, no, it is a type or it is a systematic and scientific approach to research in which the researcher manipulates one or more variables and controls and measures any change in other variables. So dito, yung experimental research natin, yung researchers, no, test an idea, no, yung practice or procedure to determine its effect on an outcome. Then the researchers decide on an idea with which to experiment. Assign individuals or groups to experience it, no? So nag-a-assign tayo dito ng group. So meron tayo dito tinatawag na treatment group and control group. Wherein dun sa treatment group, dun po natin ina-assign yung gusto na dun natin ina-assign yung experiment. Okay, dun tayo sa treatment group. And then yung control group, dun lang natin siya i-compare. Okay, so one example class na pwede kong i-share sa inyo, no, is yung study, yung isang study tungkol sa teaching approaches. Okay, na kung saan itong teacher, no, it actually master thesis niya to, no. So teacher po siya sa I forgot kung anong bansa yun no? Pero nasa part po ng Middle East yun. So teacher siya doon, basic education teacher. So elementary yung tinuturuan niya. And actually, meron lang siyang 6 sections. No, may 6 sections siyang hinandle during that time. So, yung 6 section na yon, dinivide niya into 2 groups. No? So, let's say yung section 1, 2 and 3 na lang halimbawa, no. So, yung section 1, 2 and 3, yun yung inassign niya as treatment group na kung saan yung mga different teaching approaches, no, yung mga may mga ginamit siyang teaching approaches na makabago, no, yung mga contemporary, no, yung mga makabagong approaches na kung saan gumamit ng mga makabagong technology, no, or methods. Okay, so yun doon niya ginamit, no, doon sa section 1, 2 and 3. While doon sa section 4, 5 and 6, yung traditional way of teaching na ginagawa niya, which is blended, no, na kung saan nagle-lecture tapos yung gumagamit ng online materials, no, so blended learning. And then so yun ang ginamit niya, no, doon siya nag-experiment. So syempre gusto niyang ma-prove na yung paggamit ng mga makabagong technology at yung paggamit niya ng mga yung mga teaching approaches, no, yung mga different pedagogical approaches na hindi niya usual na ginamit, no. So gumamit siya ng mga combination of pedagogical approaches na hindi niya usually ginagamit, no, dun sa teaching. So yun yung tinest niya. Okay? So yun po yung dalawang group na binabanggit natin. Okay? Okay, so experimental research again to determine dito the researcher tests an idea to determine its effect on an outcome. Okay? So the experimental method is the only method of research that can truly test hypotheses, no, concerning cause and effect relationship. So it represents the most valid approach to the solution of educational problems, so both practical and theoretical, and to the advancement of education as a science. Now, based dun sa sample ko kanina na kung saan si teacher na gumamit siya ng mga different or combination of contemporary pedagogical approaches no, doon sa treatment group, yung group or section 1, 2, and 3. Okay? So, naginamitan niya. And then, yung sa section 4, 5, and 6 na kung saan yung traditional approach niya na ginamit pa rin doon sa 4, 5, and 6. And then, after treatment, performance of subject in both group is compared. So, doon mo na itetest, no? So, through doon sa kanilang yung performance nila doon sa subject. Whether tumaas ba yung quizzes, tumaas ba yung performance ng bata, yung achievement ng estudyante, tumaas ba dahil sa gumamit siya ng combination of pedagogical approaches. So, yun yung gustong makita doon. No? So, i-compare. I-compare yung performance ng parehong group. Okay? So, ano po ba yung quantitative and qualitative? Is it a type of research? What is quantitative and qualitative researches? Diyan pa ba kayo? Legarde? Abata, Helda, Gatbonton? Asa na kayo? Valencia? What is quantitative research? What is qualitative research?
Miss Op.
Cornejo. Sige, Cornejo.
Quantitative research po. From the word itself, quantity. It means numerical data. So, it focuses po on statistical analysis like kapag minimeasure po natin yung mga numerical data po na research. On the other hand po, qualitative po, focuses po on informational data po gathered po sa internet or books or whatever po, articles. Yun po.
Sige, si Palomeras.
Actually, quite similar po kami ng explanation with Sid po. Quantitative po, numerical po siya. It means more on numbers po yung data na nagagather po dito. While on qualitative po, these are research po na ang ginagather po nila is most especially is from the interviews po sa mga ganun po, ma'am.
Okay, Masangkay.
Ano po, ma'am? Sa quantitative research po is ina-express po nila in numbers and graphs, while qualitative research naman po, the research is expressed in words po.
Okay, so when we say quantitative, again, tama naman po, no? Quantitative research can be a powerful tool used to see what has happened in the past and what may happen in the future based on numbers. Okay, so when we say quantitative, from the root word quantity, no? So it is based on numbers. So quantitative research is a formal, objective, systematic process in which numerical data are used to obtain information about the world. This research method is used to describe variables, to examine relationships among variables. So this is a research method po, no? Quantitative research method. Okay? So ibig sabihin, kung magkakanda ka po ng research, tapos ang gagamitin mong type of research is, let's say, tawag dito, experimental. So, pwede mo i-apply itong quantitative research method. Okay? So, another is qualitative. So, qualitative, on the other hand, is a powerful, no, due to the fact that many investors do not incorporate this methodology. It also produces a powerful end product. So qualitative research is primarily exploratory research, and it is used to gain an understanding of underlying reasons, opinions, and motivations. So it provides insights into the problem or helps to develop ideas or hypotheses for potential quantitative research. So meron din po tayong tinatawag na mixed methods. So when we say mixed, no, a mixed methods approach is probably the most powerful way to deliver a quality research report. So kung saan, pag sinabi natin mix, combination of quantitative and qualitative research. No? Yung, pag ginamit natin pareho, no, yung quantitative and qualitative research methods, so we call it mixed method. Kaya nasasabi nating most powerful way to deliver a quality research report kasi aside from dun sa sabi natin na pag sinabing quantitative by numbers, no? Okay? So based on numbers. Kumbaga na determine natin yung answers natin through statistics, no? So by numbers. And then para ma-prove natin kung tama din ba yung halimbawa yung results natin. So ginagamitan din natin siya or ina-apply din natin yung qualitative research approach or yung qualitative research method through no yung tawag dito let's say gumagamit pa tayo ng mga what we call this based on yung mga journals, na based on journals, based on yung mga mga conducted na studies na, no, pwede tayong gumamit nun. Okay, so that's qualitative research method. Okay. Okay. So we are now in the pang-ilan na ba tong topic natin? Okay, so malapit na, no? So we will define what is hypothesis, sampling or sample, and population and sample. Then after that, pang na po ito? Third to the last na po yung topic natin. Okay, so I will just give you the discuss lang natin yung definition, but again, the deeper discussion on these topics, itong hypothesis, population, and sample shall be done sa mga susunod na lesson natin. Actually, kasama na ito sa mga susunod na lesson na po natin. So, tawag dito, this of course shall be discussed by the reporters, since magkakaroon tayo ng oral reporting. Okay, so what is hypothesis? Kasama po ito sa assignment, di ba? Hypothesis, kasama po.
Yes po.
Okay, so anybody, what is hypothesis or hypothesis, plural form? Hypothesis, singular. Anybody? Walay? Sige, lalagyan ko lang ng division kasi nalilito po ako dun sa Ayan, sige po. Sige, pa-register po ulit ng pangalan. Okay, si Reyes. Followed by Cruzado.
Hypothesis. A superstition or proposed explanation made on the basis of limited evidence as a starting point for further investigation.
Okay, very good. Cruzado. And then Alarcon.
Hypothesis is an educated guess about the relationship between two or more variables. It is a specific testable prediction about what will occur in a study.
Okay, Cornejo. Ay, sino ba yung sinasabi? Alarcon? Alarcon and Cornejo. Sige, Cornejo, ikaw na mauna.
Hypothesis po in simplest term po. Prediction of an outcome of a given study po.
Okay, Alarcon. And then Gakusan. Asa na si Cornejo? Wala na? Ay, si Alarcon? Hindi na ba? Hindi na si Alarcon. Cornejo, okay na. Gakusan na lang.
Ma'am, present a research topic, it makes a prediction about the outcome in the inquiry. It's an essential component of the scientific process and serve a foundation to scientific experimentation.
Okay, so to define what hypothesis means, no, it is a research hypothesis is a statement of expectation or prediction that will be tested by research. Okay, hypothesis is a tentative explanation that occurs for a set of facts and can be tested by further investigation. A form, no? Hindi ko mabasa yung sarili kong ano. Okay, a form, or rather a formal statement that presents the expected relationships or relationship between an independent and dependent variable. Okay, and according to Ari, Jacob, and Razave, no? Hypothesis relates theory to observation and observation to theory. Okay? So, pag sinabi po nating hypothesis or in plural, no, hypothesis, it is a precise, testable statement of what the researchers predict will be study's outcome. No, it is stated at the start of the study. No, doon pa lang sa umpisa ng study mo, mababanggitin na yon, no, mababanggit na. And this usually involves proposing a possible relationship between the independent variable, no, ito yung what the researcher changes, and the dependent variable, no, what the researcher measures. So in research, there is a convention that the hypothesis is written in two forms, null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. So ito yung tinatawag nating experimental hypothesis, now when the method of investigation is an experiment. Now, upon analysis of the result, an alternative hypothesis can be rejected or supported, but it can never be proven to be correct. No? So again, pwede natin yung alternative hypothesis, pwede siyang ma-reject or pwede siyang ma-support, no? Pero it can never be proven to be correct. So we must avoid any reference to results proving a theory as things implies 100% certainty. And there is always a chance that evidence may exist which could refute a theory. Okay? So, siguro yung mga sample hypothesis, no, ibibigay na lang natin later on sa para sabi ko nga, a deeper discussion on hypothesis topic, no? So siguro ibibigay na natin sa mga susunod na discussion natin sa mga reporters. Okay? So just a definition. Now, how about sampling? Ano naman po yung sampling? Gakusan? Tapos ba si Gakusan? Ano naman po yung sampling? para maintindihan lang natin ano yung sampling. O sige, parang 20. Meron na lang pala ako 30 minutes. Okay, so when we say sampling class, okay, to define what sampling is. Okay, andyan pa ba kayo? So it is a group of people of items that are taken from a larger population for measurement. Okay, sampling, no? Or sample. In research terms, a sample is a group of people, objects, or items that are taken from a larger population for measurement. Okay, the sample should be representative of the population to ensure that we can generalize the findings from the research sample to the population as a whole. Okay, kaya pag sinabi natin, ilan ang sample size mo? Okay, so ibig sabihin, ilan yung or group na kasama dun sa research mo. Okay? Now, yung population and sample, when we say population, it is yung entire group. While sample, again, is the specific group that you will collect data from. No, the size of the sample is always less than the total size of the population. Siyempre, mas kasi yung entire group, kung meron kang population, yung total of halimbawa is 100. And then, yung sample, ang kukunin mo lang doon, so a minimum of 30, for example, no? A minimum of 30. Okay, so that is sample. Now, what do you think are the good qualities of a good researcher? Sige, magtatawag lang po ako ng paisa-isa na lang muna para matapos na tayo. Okay, I have 10 minutes left. So what do you think are the good qualities of a good researcher? Ano ba yung qualities na dapat meron yung isang researcher? Wala na po ba ako ibang estudyante? 30 lang po yung nakaregister sa akin. Nasa 50 po kayo. So paano yung iba? Walang grade? Sige, Tuano.
Mama, yung a good researcher po is friendly po.
Friendly.
As good researcher must be able to make friends with their subjects.
Yes.
So communicate with them in the same language that they reply in and make them happy.
Okay, sige. Pagbigyan natin si Cruz. Si Cruz?
Yes, ma'am.
Sige.
Ano po, ma'am? Least discouragement.
Least?
Least discouragement po. Less discouragement po. So po, if the people are not cooperate to give correct data, the researcher should not be discouraged and face the difficulties. Yun po, ma'am. Researcher.
So, dapat patient, no? Patient yung researcher. Hindi basta-basta na-discourage na. Okay, sige na nga si Suso. Teka lang. Sino pa ba yung wala? Anyways, sige, last na nga lang si Lumakang. Last na muna meron pala si Lumakang. Sige, okay lang. Last na Lumakang.
Ma'am, ano po yung qualities po na dapat meron yung yung pagiging curiosity po ng isang researcher dahil meron ka na po yung intelligence po pare, dapat meron ka pa rin mga bagay na dapat mas malaman pa po para mas mainan pa po. Parang maging curious ka pa sa ibang bagay. Ayun po.
Curious sa ibang bagay. Sige. Lumakang. Sino pa ba? Si Cruz? Susan na lang, Susan. Pero,
Ma'am, para po sa akin, pagiging religious or spiritual healthy. Dahil science, madami po tayong madadaanan ng new knowledge and may time na magkakaroon ng encountering tayo na unexpected events na masisira or pwedeng may magulo sa ating schedule or madi-discourage tayo. Sa pagiging spiritual healthy, ay makaka-cope up tayo at motivated pa din tayo na ituloy yung research natin.
Okay. Sige na nga, si Ablasa.
Dapat po research-oriented po tayo. Kasi
Yes.
since yung research is nagsisearch tayo or nag-investigate tayo, dapat alam natin yung tamang way or yung tamang process kung paano natin i-execute yung gagawin natin research. Yun po.
Okay. So, dapat yung good qualities of a researcher, dapat nun after ng characteristics of a researcher, no? Bago nag-purpose of research. Napunta pala siya sa ilalim, no? After ng population and sample, yung definition. So, right after this, the next topic is overview of the research process. No? Yung overview niya, no? Yung research process, then the last topic should be hindrances encountered in research. So, I guess, no, itutuloy natin ito, pero as in matatapos na klase, no? So, most probably by next meeting, ano na tayo, yung hahabol po muna tayo, class, ha? Okay lang ba? Anyways, nung nakaraan, nag-asynchronous na kayo, no? So, okay lang ba? Hahabol tayo. So, dire-diretso muna yung pasok ulit natin. So, imimit ko kayo sa next meeting. Anyways, guys, these are the qualities of a good researcher. So, a researcher must be research-oriented, okay, efficient, scientific, effective, active, resourceful, creative, honest, economical, and religious. Okay, so ito dapat yung mga qualities na meron ang isang researcher. So, pag sinabi naman natin characteristics of the researcher, okay, so ganun din, papasok ulit yung mga good qualities. So, in terms of intellectual curiosity, di ba? Health criticism, honest, resourceful, religious, intellectual creativity, economical, intellectual honesty, creative, and prudence. Okay? Now, meron tayong tinatawag na values of research naman. So, the values of research naman, the first one, research improves the quality of life. Okay? Improves the quality of life. Improves the quality of life since, di ba, marami ng mga na-develop, no, na mga machines. So, napagaan na yung pamumuhay na or pamumuhay ng mga tao because of these inventions or yung mga na-develop, di ba? In terms of sa education, this improve instructions katulad nung binigay kong example sa inyo kanina, no, yung study ng isang master teacher. And also research improves student achievement because, di ba, ganun din, ibibigay ko pa rin example yung sinample ko kanina na kung saan ang naging respondents niya is yung mga estudyante, and because of yung mga ginamit niyang mga contemporary pedagogical approaches na dun sa pagtuturo niya, na-improve yung student achievement, okay, because of research. And also, research improves teachers' competence. No? Parang itong tatlong to magkakatikit, no? Parang interconnected. Then, another values of research, it satisfies man's needs. No? Research reduces the burden of work. Okay, so sabi nga natin, because of the inventions, no, yung mga dati na ginagawa ng 10 tao, isang tao na lang po ang gumagawa, siya na lang ang nag-ooperate ng machine. Okay? Then, research has deep-seated psychological aspect. And it improves the exportation of food products. Another, research responds to the economic recovery and austerity measure of the country. And research trains graduates to become responsive to the economic development of the country and to compete globally. Okay, so here are the ethics in research. So, number one, A permit to conduct the study must be properly sought from authority. No, willingness of the prospective respondents must also be considered. So kanina may bumanggit, no? So halimbawa kung ayaw nung respondent, hindi natin pwedeng pilitin. Pero yung kung halimbawang ang gagamitin ninyong population is for example, yung sa isang company, so, kailangan mag-ask ka ng permission. So, kung hindi papayag yung pinakang yung management, kung hindi papayag, hindi nyo pwedeng ipilit yun. Okay, ngayon, kung pumayag yung management, and then, yung, sabi nga natin, yung population is the entire, yung population ng isang, let's say, ng isang organization. Then, yung sample, yung specific group of people lang na isasama mo dun sa research. So, yung specific na yun, so pipili ka. So, make sure lang na may consent kayo nung specific group. So, anyways, marami naman sila, pumili ka na lang. So, hindi tayo pwedeng kailangan yung willingness na ng respondent. I-consider niya. Okay, so number 2, the researcher must assure the respondents of confidentiality of the data that will be gathered and used in the study. So, actually, ini-indicate natin yan doon sa research, no? Yung confidentiality, yung assurance ng confidentiality ng data. Okay? And the researcher must be willing to share the findings of the study within the institution where the respondents belong. Okay, so kung ano yung ginamit mong population or kung anong organization yung ginamit mo doon sa study mo, you must be willing to share the findings. Siyempre, kailangan yun. Makakatulong din kasi sa kanila yon. Okay? And then, 4, the research must maintain integrity in the publication of the findings and result of the study. No? Sabi nga natin, hindi tayo pwedeng mag-manipulate ng result. Then, the researcher must not inflict harm to the respondents, especially during an experimental research. And the research must consider the potential benefits that the researcher may get from the study. And last, the researcher must observe intellectual honesty in undertaking such research. So, those are the ethics in research. Again, sa next meeting po, babalikan natin yung naiwan na topics. Dalawa na lang po ito, pero okay, ito na lang. Yung overview of the research process and hindrances encountered in the research. So, maiksi na lang po ito. So, yung next group, kailangan ng mag-prepare. Pero prior to, siguro ang gagawin natin sa next meeting class, tatapusin ko yung dalawang topics and then magbibigay muna ako ng quiz. Okay? Kasi kung kailan pa, baka makalimutan. Na? At least para fresh pa sana sa inyo. Dapat nga ngayon, right after. Pero 3:31 na po. So, ulitin ko ha. Sa next meeting, magmi-meet po tayo. Tutuloy ko yung dalawang two topics, no? Tapos magbibigay ako ng quiz. And then after that, proceed na tayo dun sa next group. Yung lesson 2 na po natin. So, yung lesson 2, itong materials na ito tong PowerPoint po, ipopost ko po siya after nung last 2 topics or rather after ng quiz. No, ipopost ko po after ng quiz. So, meron po kayong assignment. Tapos, nag-lesson naman ako and nakinig naman po kayo. So, kung meron kayong so at least kung meron kayong may mga na-discuss tayo na hindi na isama doon sa assignment, idagdag niyo na lang para makapag-review po kayo. Ulitin ko, right after po ng quiz, saka ko pa lang siya ipopost kasi alam niyo na. Okay? Kasi magbibigay nga po tayo ng quiz. Okay? So, search niyo na lang po yung mga hindi ko na isama sa assignment. Okay? Ulitin ko, after ng quiz, continuation na po tayo lesson 2. So, ipopost ko yung materials or yung mga links na kung saan pwede ninyong magamit no? Yung sa magre-report, para doon sa magre-report, para makapag-prepare kayo ng PowerPoint presentation ninyo. Then, yung iba naman, okay, ganun ulit, magbibigay po ako ng set of questions na kailangan ninyong sagutan para prepare din po kayo sa magiging discussion sa next meeting para dun sa lesson 2. Okay po ba yung instructions? So, yung hindi pa po nakapag-submit ng assignment, pwede pa pong mag-submit. Tatanggapin po natin yan. Okay, that will also serve as your attendance. No, yung submission nyo ng assignment. Okay, so for now, that's all for now. Thank you so much for attending. Attend po tayo. And next time po, provide niyo po yung camera kasi mas mahirap po mag-lecture or mag-discuss tapos hindi mo alam kung may nakikinig pa ba sa'yo or wala. No, yun ang purpose natin. But then anyways, yung mga susunod, kapag may time naman, pag medyo makahabol lang po tayo, pag nakahabol na, medyo naka-adjust na po tayo. So magbibigay ulit tayo ng asynchronous. Saka tayo ulit mag-asynchronous. Again, after po ng quiz, yung quiz po natin is on-cam, synchronous po yun. Pero magbibigay ako ng assessment. Iba pa po yung assessment. Assessment can be done anytime kung kailan kayo available. Pero syempre, huwag niyong patagalin kasi baka maipunan kayo ng assessments. Okay? Pero yung quiz po natin sa next meeting, synchronous po yun. Siguro mga about 15 to 20, hindi ko pa sure na. Pero parang mga ganun, mga 20 items. Okay? All about dun sa discussion natin. Yung sa mga assignment ninyo. Okay? So thank you so much. May tanong pa? May tanong pa po ba?
Wala na po.
Okay, so sige. Bye-bye everyone.